The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Coming to you live.
We're live.
From the basement of an abandoned training facility where we talk about fighting, training, and events. It's the Fight Mixer Show, where you can hear about all the local and world combat sports happenings. Get ready. It's time to gear up and square up because we're going live. And now,
broadcasting live.
We will broadcast live
on the Fight Mixer Show.
This is really strange. I thought we'd be canceled by now.
Give it some time.
Yeah, seriously. And already people are calling Gabe. Jesus Christ.
Like, get this guy's off the show.
Cancel.
Cancel this show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Fight Mixer. This is the Fight Mixer live show. We are live. First, we have to make the introductions. First, four-time world champion, UFC veteran, the GOAT, the MMA genius, with a 20-foot penis. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gabe. Gabe, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Gentlemen, I'm very well. Happy to be back on the show. We had a little hiatus. Back to it. Bang, bang, bang. Ready to go.
Absolutely. And we got the MMA pioneer who likes to drink beer with me. He is part of MMA Weekly, exclusive Vegas, the man, the myth, the legend, Jake Hatton. What's going on, brother?
You know, it's really tough to try to live up to your introduction, Dave. It's a little embarrassing. I'm good, and I'm glad to be back. Gabe, I know you feel the same way, buddy.
Every time I'm like, it's way more than I deserve.
Absolutely. I don't think so. No way. You absolutely deserve it. And I think we all deserve it. I mean, last season we were doing this, and we started this under the confines of the pandemic. So we started this in 2020, all board, locked up. Obviously, no MMA events going on. And, you know, we just started this for fun with Mr. Gabe, with Jake, and we ended up climbing up the charts. We were on Amazon. We ended up becoming top 10. I think we need a new intro to celebrate what we have accomplished here together. I think it should go something like this.
But that's okay, because we're
Big Dick Bandits, 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 Big Dick Bandits.
We deserve an intro of that caliber. What do you think?
Well done.
That's the first time I've seen that. That was exceptional.
I think we need a new intro, guys. And now that we have creative freedom, we're back. And obviously, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. So we actually picked 5 topics going on in the world of combat sports. 5 topics, as Gabe holds up his hand, live from his new gym in Kajuya MMA and Fitness, located in beautiful new location.
Beautiful Tarzana, California.
Beautiful Tarzana, California. And where can we find you? And you get a free class, too, if you train with Black Belt.
Right now, we're giving 7 days free. 7 entire days to enjoy our entire beautiful 6,000 square foot facility.
You were shitting me.
No, I'm not. That's true. Seriously, 7 entire days at www.kaiju-mma.com.
Wait. So let me get this straight. Jesus Christ and doggy style Mary. So that means if you walk into Gabe's gym, you get to train with a BJJ black belt, and you get to train with a UFC vet, and you get to train with the fellow Big Dick Bandit of Fight Mixer Live, Gabe Rudiger. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. 3 black belts on staff currently. and multiple MMA instructors. So yeah, it's a very good place to be, and I would highly recommend it. I'm a little biased, but I enjoy it. It's a good place.
Gabe, it just went from 6 to midnight. That is a deal. That is a steal. Training with former 4-time world champion, Mr. Gabe. And of course, Jake is launching Exclusive Vegas coming soon. A lot of big things in the works from Jake. Is that right, sir?
Yeah. Prepping up for Formula One coming up. The whole town's a buzzing, and that's going to be in November. It's going to be wild.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Hey, we got the Grims coming up, and we got big events coming up. And you know better than anybody. I mean, hanging out with Carmen Electra and hanging out with Coolio and hanging out, God rest his soul, and hanging out with Chan Tatum and all the celebrities that linger around Las Vegas.
It's not a bad life. It's not a bad life.
You live a pretty good life, I would say. But speaking of a perfect life, we need to talk about the 5 topics. So at random, I picked 5 topics that everybody brought up. So this is how it's going to work. So we're going to bring up 5 topics all around the combat sports world. And if you want to join in, if you want to bring and be a part of the conversation, just like right now, we got Tiffany saying LOL, saying that's funny. Also, my boy D. Leon, what's going on, brother? And also, Joni Pants, what's up, sweetheart? So you know, come in the conversation, actually take part and be a part of a fun conversation with 5 topics picked at random. Are you guys excited? Are you guys ready?
I mean,
Let's go.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited.
yeah.
This is like sabotage. Like, yeah, I think we're just trying to get our show canceled and finally get the job done this time.
I didn't even know what to say about that. Was not expecting it, but it boomed just like a real fart of that nature. You never expect it. It just
all right, fair enough. Okay, let's get to the 5 topics. We call this 5 topics. Of course, how to play 5 topics. We're going to bring up 5 topics at random, pick them out, and we're going to have a chance to talk about them and share all of our perspective. And also, you know, class participation. Please participate at home. What's up, bro? How you doing? So let's go to topic number 1. Jake, are you ready, sir?
Fire away. Let's do this.
The MMA veteran Jake Thunder Hatton, has confirmed that he's ready. Gabe Whittaker, are you ready?
born ready.
Of course, you Big Dick Bandit. Of course, you're ready. Now let's go to topic number 1. Let's go. Topic number 1 features our favorite bedtime hero.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking day of the.
It starts off with Conor McGregor. He'll be returning to coach on Tough. Gabe, what do you think about Conor McGregor finally returning to network television on the worst show of all time? Oh, I'm just kidding. On Tough. So clap.
No, that's my that's how much I care about Conor McGregor. Look, he's a character, and I think he's actually good for MMA. People like watching him for whatever reason. I'll tell you this. I was talking to someone about this last night because he's like, what do you think about Chandler's going to go right through him? I think in the current top 10, Chandler is the best matchup for Conor. In the current top 10, top 5, Michael Chandler, he has the potential to beat him because Chandler likes to swing for the fences and wants to get into a gunfight. So it is probably the best option that Conor has. Otherwise, he'll get murked by everybody else.
And with Chandler, and Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, but with Chandler, like you saw the last fight from MSG with Poirier, Conor does not like to be taken into quicksand and dark waters. He crumbles. You know, he has that bully complex that all those greats had. That, you know, if he's not knocking out in the first or second round, he withers. No, all respect to Conor, and anyone that steps in the cage is a winner. But Chandler is that type of dog that will bring in the fucking quicksand. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with Gabe. It's going to be – I think this is the best matchup for Conor because he's going to sit at range, and we've seen what guys do at range. You know, Poirier did it. They just sit back and fire away. And to be honest with you, I think Conor's lost that Mike Tyson effect that he used to have. He was just such a bully, and he would get inside their head before it started. Now, that's gone away. And guys don't take him as seriously. And let's be honest. He's got $100 million. He's out on yachts. He's enjoying his life. I mean, what does he really need to fight for? So it's kind of an ego play, and I'm just not sure the hunger's there. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But I agree, it's still the best matchup, and I'm glad Chandler is getting a big payday because I'm not sure anybody's put it on the line as much as that guy in the last 2 years. My God.
And as far as Chandler is concerned, is this a must-win situation? I mean, Chandler, every single fight he's been in has been 5-star classics. Would Dana White actually cut him if Conor McGregor starts?
No way.
No way. No, I mean, he is a company man through and through. And let's be honest, he puts on entertaining fights. Even his losses I could watch them over and over again. And not because I dislike Chandler, just because they're really good fights. And a guy that puts it on the line like that, and look, his second fight in was a title fight. They don't give that to just anybody. And he has put on the company jacket and the way he talks, and he does a great job. Even if he loses now, I will say that his credibility might be lost if he loses to Chandler. But as far as him being a name in the UFC and him being cut, he will definitely not be cut.
Right? Yeah, and he's fought a bunch of killers. Let's be honest. He's fighting truly guys in their peak. I mean, the best in the world. I mean, I mean, the easiest guy that he fought was Dan Hooker, who's a stud.
Yep.
So you can't take anything away from Chandler. Like Gabe said, the guy puts it on the line. And, and I think the UFC has gotten better about that, rewarding guys, kind of the old Pride model. They didn't care if you won or lose, as long as that entertainment value was there. And like Gabe said, man, he's the most entertaining guy, probably the most entertaining fighter because he doesn't know how to fight boring.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, he's really entertaining to watch. And I think with that, I think, like I said, a loss would devastate him in the respective rankings and ability to build him back up as a championship fighter. But it will definitely not hurt him as far as his career being done. I mean, he's an exceptional fighter. He puts on fun fights, and he's one of those guys that's going to move the needles. And he's also a company man, the things that the UFC love.
And nothing will hurt but
da 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 da. It's the motherfucking day of the.
I can't get over that, man. Did you hear about that bike accident? Like how he got fucking hit by a car, possibly driven by
I couldn't have.
Hey, then the guy that hit him, I think, gave him a ride home.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think that's an uncomfortable ride home. Hey, sorry, you ran over one of the most famous athletes in the world. Sorry about that, buddy.
My bad.
Gabe, if somebody hit you with a car, would you give him a ride home, or would you go into his car?
With a car, would I give them a ride home?
Yeah,
I'd give them some type of ride. Now, no, if they hit me with a car, would I accept a ride if they were to offer me a ride home? Probably not.
Stupid question.
No, probably not.
Hey, we get this. We buried this topic, so I think we should go on to topic number 2. Are you guys ready?
Let's go.
All right, let's fucking do this. Question number 2.
Just a little ditty about you.
Holy shit. It is number 1, number 2 fighting each other this weekend. Holy Santa Claus shit. Gabe, your thoughts about this epic matchup?
First and foremost, I give Volkanovski all the credit in the world, man. Like him stepping up. I mean, he's a massive 45er, and I think he started at 220 when he first started. But 45 and 55 are very, very different animals. And he's not like taking an easy fight. He's taking Islam, who is supposed to be the heir apparent and is a monster. The way he went through Charles Oliveira makes – I mean, all of his other fights were nothing. When he went through Oliveira the way he went through him, I was massively impressed. And just like his wrestling acumen and his grappling acumen, you know what? I am rooting for Volkanovski, but I am not putting any money on that bet.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jake, obviously with Exclusive Vegas working a lot with DraftKings, Exclusive Vegas coming soon, by the way, and also working with DraftKings, obviously the betting lines up and down, left and right, unpredictable like the weather. Jake, what is your perspective and add your expert point of view and analysis on this epic confrontation between 2 champions?
Man, Gabe pretty much stole my entire breakdown. Unfortunately, no, Gabe's right. I mean, it's look, the writing's on the wall. There's two big questions that are going to be asked. One is the size, you know, in I guess one big question, the size. You know, can he come over? You know, because 45 and 55, like Gabe said, it's massive. But you know, I still, even though I believe in Islam, and like Gabe said, the way he ran through Charles, you know, he caught Charles with a punch early, and I think he rung his bell. So I'm going to kind of write it off for Charles there. But
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see if Volk's footwork can outdo the takedowns. Can he get that jab? Can he stick that jab? And we'll know the first takedown what it looks like. You know.
Yeah. And I
like
think
betting odds though. I'm taking
yeah.
Volk my betting odds, but it's hard not to look at Islam and just he's got so much going for him.
Right. And I think what's scary about this matchup is considering how much size he's giving up to Islam. Yeah. I'm forgetting his name. Holy shit.
He's a huge 55er.
That guy
he's a massive 55er. So it's not like he's fighting a small guy or a guy that moved up. I mean, he's a big guy.
What's scary about this fight is how much reach he's giving up. So if you're outside the pocket and Volk is going to spend a lot of time trying to get into the pocket and blast him, if you go outside the pocket, he's got that long reach. He can pump that jab. He can hit you from all angles if he's outside the pocket. He goes inside the pocket. He runs the risk of getting taken down by a very, very exceptional wrestler in Islam. How do you win this fight? How do you even avoid the
I could be wrong, but I believe that Volkanovski's has a 2-inch reach.
I was about to say no. Volkanovski has got the reach advantage. I didn't want to, but yeah.
Shorter, but a reach advantage.
Yes, it's not much. I think it's only an inch or two, but
yeah, I think it's 2 inches.
Volk has the reach advantage.
Are you? You're shitting me?
Nope.
Almost positive.
Jake and I are on the same page, and I'm willing to Google that shit. That's how confident I am.
Yeah, we gotta Google that later. But you would assume the bigger athlete obviously would obviously have the reach advantage. I can't believe Volk. When you have the size differential between both of them, it looks like Islam is fucking massive. It looks like a heavyweight fighting a flyweight.
Yeah, but don't forget, Volk is shorter. But like Gabe said, he was 220 as a rugby player, and he wasn't exactly small. I mean, he's a big. He wasn't a fat 220. So they say it's going to be interesting because 1 inch.
1 inch. Volkanovski has 1 inch reach advantage.
There we go.
Yep.
I stand corrected. Thank you, sir.
What I look for and what I'm interested in is the psychology, and maybe they're just that confident, the Dagestani crew, but they're kind of belittling Volkanovski a little bit, just kind of laughing like, hey, look, like Khabib gave away his game plan already. He's like, look, we're going to pressure him against the cage, take him down and submit him. They're not making look, this is what we do, and they're just kind of almost laughing at him, you know. And I'm not sure if they're.
You can't take anybody lightly, and I respect confidence. But if there's someone that is all on the contrast, massively confident, Volkanovski believes in himself to a level above and beyond.
And he's a dog too.
And look, I like I said, my heart is with Volkanovski. My brain is saying that Islam will be able to wrestle him. Yeah. But I mean, it's a good matchup. You know what? There are very few matchups that I'm interested in. Though, perfect example is of a champion going up when Israel fought
Jan
at 205. You saw just the size variance, and I wasn't interested in it. I kind of figured that's what's going to happen. He was going to just get taken down, and it was going to be just okay. The size is such a variance, but. With Volkanovski and Islam, the size is an issue, but not that much of an issue. I think it's. I think it really the deciding factor. I think will be the wrestling.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's why I was thinking his footwork. Right, you got to stick and move. Yeah. You know, we also saw Holloway go up to take on Dustin Poirier, and it didn't fare very well either. So it is concerning. And I figure, Volk's got to get some shots in on him early. He's got to stick him with that jab. He's got to keep that footwork going. And he's just easier said than done, right?
He's got great stand-up. and I really like to see his work. I just think that Islam has the ability to control that distance, and if he controls that distance, even that 1 inch that he has is not going to matter because Islam's going to be trying to come forward, and Volkanovski's going to be trying to break away. And then also you have to think about the cage. The cage is always a factor. You can only back away for so long before you get to here, and then the Dagestani pit bull attacks.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I agree. My heart wants, well, my gut, you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
One wants to win, one wants, yeah.
But if you were obviously you're a betting man, and if you were going to bet money on this, which you probably will on DraftKings, if you're going to bet money on this, bet the house. Who do you bet the house on?
Well, I bet the dog. I enjoy the dogs. You know, kind of a smaller bet on the dog. So I bet on Volk, but I'm with Gabe. It's a tough road. You know.
I don't know if the odds have changed much, but 2 days I looked at the odds and it was 340 to 440.
About the same. I think it was 480 now.
Okay. But I mean, you know, I 3-1 odds are good odds in my opinion. I mean, now it's not the Pena Nunez 16-1. If you bet that one, and I wouldn't have bet that one, but if you bet that one, you had a very, very good day. But 3-1 odds, it's not I mean, can he win? Yeah, he absolutely has the potential to win. Is it probable? That's what I'm thinking. Like as Jake and I both said, my heart's going Volkanovski, but my gut and mind are like, I think Islam might just be too much because of wrestling.
Yeah, and I think he's going to wrestle fuck the shit out of him. I think Islam just has that dominant fucking wrestling. And once again, you stand them both together. It looks like Islam is giant compared to Volk. I had no idea that Volk actually had the reach advantage. But I think it just comes down to the wrestling game. Can Volk stop that takedown? Can he avoid the traps that Islam is going to set up? This stylistically, this makes for a very, very intriguing match. But you know, it doesn't matter what we think until it gets into the cage. I just think Islam is just on another level and another plateau as far as a wrestling game is concerned. And plus, he has the size advantage too, as far as weight is concerned and everything.
We'll see the first scramble, right? First scramble, we're going to get a real clear understanding what this fight will probably look like.
Another part that if Volkanovski's coaches are picking apart and seeing the mistakes that Islam makes and what got him knocked out in his one loss, and is seeing the mistakes and they're game planning properly, like a good coach can see little things like when he throws his right hand, his left hand is down. So that's the time to attack. And if Volkanovski is working a perfect game plan and is playing it and he puts hands on him in the right spot, it could 100% change the dynamic of the game.
So, Gabe, in your professional opinion, do you think that Volk waits for the opportunity, counters maybe like a nice overhand, waits for him and then works that angle, waits for him to jab, waits for him to make a mistake with that hand down and make him pay for it? Do you think that's going to be the game plan? That's going to be
he's going to play the distance game and pick his shots and wait. And that's what you need to do against someone like Islam. You can't get into a gunfight with that guy because he always has the ability to change levels. Look, here's a perfect example is when Gaethje fought Khabib. You know, Khabib outstruck him because he was so afraid of the takedown. That could 100% be Islam as well. If he gets Volkanovski afraid of the takedown, he can outstrike him as well. So there's so many different things that play into it. But my personal feeling is that Volkanovski is going to try to stay on the outside, pick his shots, look for the small openings, and if his coaches are smart and they picked apart Islam, they're going to know when the time to throw the power shot is.
That is a very good point, considering that how many wrestlers have we seen look like fucking Floyd Mayweather in that cage, considering they're so afraid of the takedown, so they stay outside of the pocket. I mean, it makes perfect sense, Gabe, how you described it. Yeah. Fuck yeah. So, are we ready for topic number 3, gentlemen?
Let's go.
Holy shit, we're on a roll. Let's go. The topic number 3.
The Queen has been on the beat. 3.
So we're talking about this on the last show on Mac the Mullet. I want to get your personal perspectives on Power Slap. Gabe, I got to start with you first. What do you think?
I hate it. I hate everything about it. Now, look, who doesn't like someone getting slapped? Slapping people is entertaining. But all the knockouts, and the thing is there's not sportsmanship involved. It's you're sitting there and who can take a shot. I mean, why don't we just try to punch each other and with our hands down and see who knocks the person out? Look, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Is there a market for it? Probably, especially in America. Is there money being made off of it? Probably. But my personal feeling is that it's kind of disgusting, and getting knocked out by just standing there and just, look, an open hand palm, we watched in Pancrase.
Yep.
You 100% get knocked out. If you get hit with a palm, it's genuinely, and look, we're talking about all the damage that someone takes in MMA. We're basically taking 2 steps back to go into, what is it? Slap war? What is it called?
Power Slap.
It's Power Slap. Yeah. Not a fan.
Not a fan. Okay. Jake, what do you think?
I'm not against it, but I'm not a fan. It's hard, and Gabe, you'll appreciate this. As a mixed martial artist, Dave, you as well. You spend your entire life learning art, the craft, and that's offense and defense. And it's a chess match. And one of the most fascinating parts about mixed martial arts is it's one of the craziest chess matches you'll ever get into. So it really makes you think 3 steps ahead. And the problem I have is no defense. But explain to me, not so much the UFC, and that's fine that they're doing that, but explain to me how the boxing commission lets this go. Explain to me, and this is one of my gripes, these fucking appointed positions that these guys get in, and explain to me how they're protecting the fighter and why they allowed this to happen, because that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with both of you, and respectfully disagree, by the way.
Fine.
Okay, so, and the reason why I disagree is because I think people are scared of the unfamiliar. I think with the media right now that are on the taint of MMA, and this is a point I brought up before, the same media that badmouthed and completely ignored MMA as an actual sport, the ESPNs, the EA Sports, all the media outlets, everybody, are the same people that are now covering UFC night and day because they know it's going to get clicks, it's going to get revenue, and they're now on the bandwagon. It wasn't always like that. SureDog, the UG Underground, and a couple other websites like mixedmartialarts.com, and there was very few media outlets covering the UFC and covering MMA and helping the brand grow. Not until UFC became popular and they realized they could make money off it did they start promoting it, because it was only to promote themselves for very selfish reasons. And I'll go into why I hate MMA media at a later time. But nevertheless, I'm turning red and my veins popping out just talking about it. And especially because my mom used to rub 2 nickels together to buy that UFC pay-per-view, that Tap Out t-shirt on the inyourface.com because they couldn't even afford tapout.com. I'm going to fucking kill some. Okay, I digress. Okay, anywho. And the same, I'm sorry.
Attaboy.
Anywho, fuck the media. Anywho, so the same, the same people that are bad-mouthing slap fighting or power slap, the same people and the same fans are the ones sharing bum fights, people getting knocked out on worldstar.com, people that are getting knocked out viciously and brutally on boxing, in MMA, in bare knuckle. The same critics. It's hypocritical. It's so hypocritical considering that they're sharing those clips. So what I think is people are scared of the unfamiliar. People always badmouth something that they can't understand. And I personally do not understand the power slap. That's why I want to respect the competitors. I want to respect everybody. Just like bare knuckle, I didn't understand that. So I had to do some research before I badmouthed it, and I realized it was a sport. But power slap, I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. And just like when I interviewed Dana White, I want to let him build this brand to what it could be. And I believe you can play every sport with 1 ball, but MMA takes 2, female and symbolically female and male. So combat sports always takes 2 balls. And I just want to give it a shot and give it the benefit of the doubt because there are athletes, they're combat sports athletes that are training for this, putting in the time, putting in the effort, going through that miserable process that we all saw on television and Gabe experienced full time, because I hate producers, I hate tough. No offense or anything, everyone knows this. I don't like that housing system in the reality TV show, and that's the Trojan horse way of introducing it to the casual viewer. I'm ranting, blah, 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 blah. But nevertheless, I just want to give it the benefit of the doubt, because nobody gave MMA the benefit of the doubt when it was dying to make money and revenue. And I think athletes like yourselves who are fighting when nobody was watching, I empathize with that. You guys built this sport to what it is today and part of that elite group. I want to give the benefit of the doubt to the people that are trying to build something else as well.
That's a fair point, but the only thing I look at is it a sustainable model? Not hey, look, I think we should line up every politician and let people slap the shit out of them. I think everybody agrees there. And everybody agrees to watch a train wreck, but do they enjoy watching it over and over again? Again, I want to give it the benefit of the doubt as well. And there's definitely a market, but how many fighters can you look at not Makhachev, but Chimaev. He had 4 fights and got hit 1 time. I mean, it was incredible. But then he got a fight where, there's got to be some offense and defense. And can you build a fighter if you're just going to get knocked out over and over and over again? That's what I wonder. Maybe you can.
Going off of what you were saying, David, and following off of Jake, how are there training camps for slap fighting? And then, what makes you a supreme slap fighting champion?
But Jake, respectfully, that's what I'm saying is you're asking these questions and you hate it, but you're not watching it to learn. You know what I'm saying?
It's not hating as much as what Jake said is, okay, so you have 2 athletes in MMA, right?
Right.
Let's say you have one who's a grappler and one's a striker, and we know that there's going to be the grappler's going to try to instill his game, and the striker's going to try to instill his, right? And so there's going to be this melding of movement, and one person's going to die to keep it, and one person's not, right? And there are so many variables that come into MMA, so you have to be very well skilled. All of this really is if you have a chin and you can slap, then you're going to have success in it. That's pretty much all it takes. There's not a skill set that's necessary.
Right. There's got to be some level of strategy to it, like strengthening up your neck, maybe tightening up, maybe just mental aptitude and not having your brain shut off and staying up. There's got to be some type of skill that, and again, I've raised the same questions, but I don't want to completely write it off without learning about it, because I know there are people practicing it and going through. I think every combat sport is dangerous. I think, anybody, once again, you can play every sport 1 ball, but combat sports takes 2. I want to respect the people that actually are going through the process of trying to build this thing, because, I want to give them a shot, because who gave you guys a shot in the early 2000s, Besides,
nobody, and I think Gabe's the same. We're not questioning athletes. We're not questioning. I mean, listen, whether you step into the octagon or you take a slap, I mean, you're still stepping up to compete. I think it's just hard to understand, and right. We're not saying we're not giving it a chance. It's just coming from a combat sports, a true combat sports. I guess you could call that combat sports. It's hard to see the strategy, right?
Right.
So it would be the same thing as I don't think I'd want to watch a boxing match where 2 people sit in the center and the first person drops his hands and takes a punch, and then the other one goes, okay, drops his hands and takes a punch, and they just stand there taking punch for punch until somebody falls, because I don't feel like there's a skill set involved, and I don't feel like that either person is really doing combat. It's just, okay, you hit me, I hit you. You hit me, I hit you. I hit you and you fall down, I win.
But the same thing, the same token, the casual fight viewer, the casual people that buy a boxing pay-per-view or MMA pay-per-view, they're watching to see a knockout. This is instant gratification for that violence-hungry market.
David, I was at a King of the Cage match. Okay, this is years and years ago, and there was Carl Parisian fighting Fernando Valenzuela, and Fernando was the 19-year-old BJJ world champion, JUCO national champion wrestler, exceptional grappler. They had a grappler's delight of 3-minute rounds, and it was exceptional for me to watch. The place booed. There were two fat guys in jean shorts that threw slobber knockers for a minute till they were both gassed, and the place erupted. I understand that people love that stuff. You're asking my opinion, not for
Right. I'm sorry. I
That
apologize.
way, that's a great story, and it's so true, right?
It is like, dude.
Well, nobody appreciates all the hard work, and this it took you 10 years to master a move. Nobody gives a shit about that. Two fat guys duking it out.
And they're like everything doing this pinpoint and precise, and the police are like, "Boo! Stand them up! Are you trying to fight? Are you trying to F?" Blah. And then the slobber knocker happens, and everyone's on their feet. That's what we want. And 1 minute in, both of them, their hands are on the ground, and then finally one slapped the other one, and he fell down out of exhaustion, not because he was knocked out. And the people loved it. It was, are you not?
That's where the slap fighting started. Was with that guy. Somebody recorded it. Hey, the Paul brothers throw an event right into the UFC. There we go.
Unfucking believable. But like, I can imagine the process, and I think Gabe and I bonded because, again, it was a therapy session with Gabe when I was talking about Tough, and he went through it, but I had to watch it as a fan, and I felt that was wrapped up as a reality TV show. I don't want to watch an MMA program to watch fucking, like, I don't want to watch fucking, like, drama. I don't want to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Little producer in the back, like, "Oh, we'll make you a star, kid. Oh, it looks like you have an alcohol problem, Chris Lieben. Here you go. Have some wine, son. All right, we're going to make you a star." Like, I maybe Tough has changed. And once again, I'm bad-mouthing the old Spike production. I'm sure it's gotten better under the confines of ESPN. But I can imagine, like, I felt like empathy, putting myself in a Bobby Southworth's shoes, or Diego Sanchez, or Chris Lieben. Like, I guarantee a producer was like, "Oh, call him a fatherless bastard. It'll be great. Josh Koscheck, come on, you can do it. Like, come on, kid." Like,
I think Tough still works. I think it works, but you need to reformat it. Maybe give $1 million prize or do something. Just, maybe the quarter's different, the living. I mean, just do something different and more incentivized. So do something.
Tough is fake to begin with. All the producers just want is fucking drama. I'm watching to see the best athletes in the world. Gabe, you were in a house with the coaches were Jens Pulver, Little Evil, BJ Penn. You had Nate Diaz. You had a 4-time world champion, fucking the elite of the elite. I don't want to see drama. I want to see the best in the world compete. That's my biggest gripe with Tough. I don't want the drama. It's none of my business what they go through. Weight cutting sucks for everybody. I've gone through it. I went to the hospital, and I wasn't even doing the pro experience as Gabe and Jake did. Like, weight cutting sucks. I don't want to see it because I don't want, once again, I know the process, and I could imagine of them being in that house with a sport that people hate now and people are bad mouthing. And you have these producers, come on, start some drama. Let's drink up. Oh, you have an alcohol problem? Here's a shelf worth of alcohol. Oh, you have drugs? Oh, here's heroin. I respect them because they're going through the process and going through the hell that I watched on television since I was a kid when I really just want to see two people compete. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Well, yeah, but most of the fans to the slap fighting people people love that drama. We don't like it as purists, but people love the drama. Hey, the numbers speak of the mentally challenged in America watching the Kardashians.
Yeah, it had 20 seasons or something.
It's insane.
Yeah. Well, so like this, when most people have asked me, and I actually just got back from New Zealand, and they're 20 years behind, so that for them, Tough has probably just happened. But most people ask me about the show, and I said, if you had 16 people that all got along and all wanted to train and just were training, it would be a boring show and nobody would want it.
I would watch it.
But people in general, there's a small group, but you wouldn't be getting millions and millions of viewers. You put 16 people that hate each other in a house, take away all of their music, their books, their ability to talk to anybody outside of the 16 people in the house, and things are going to pop off, and you're going to get to see much watch TV
and alcohol.
Alcohol. But I know we're veering off topic, but I know that the benefits of Tough is that Trojan horse to educate people. It's MMA slap fightings wrapped up in a reality TV show. But I remember when I was a kid watching Tough One, excited like a pig in shit. Oh my God, Diego Sanchez from King of the Cage. You got Chris Lieben from WC. You got fucking Bobby Southworth from Pride. Holy Santa Claus shit. And then I had to wait 7 episodes to watch Chris Lieben fight Josh Koscheck, which was an actually pretty goddamn good fight. But I had to wait as a fan who's educated about the sport as a kid, had to wait 7 episodes and I had to go through all the fucking, like, oh, let's do some games, kids. Like, you have 2 of the greatest of all time, Chuck Liddell and Ray Couture as coaches, but let's play some fucking games on the beach. Like, God, like, I love the UFC. I love them, but Tough has never worked for me because I'm not the casual viewer that they're trying to market to. But Slap, Power Slap, these are the athletes that have to go through that shit in order to educate and appease the public's hunger for drama and violence and fights and whatever. Like, I empathize with them.
So what you're calling for is a Power Slap reality show. Got it.
I was just gonna say they should put Power Slap in Tough.
Oh my God, I will kill myself. I will literally kill myself. Anywho, can we switch topics? I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm turning
Number
red.
4.
Let's go.
Do I have your permission, Gabe and Jake?
4. Let's go.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I need to take a breath. All right, number 4.
Love question 4.
This is the first time you've seen each other face to face. Let's keep it calm and collected. This is a fight 2 years in the making. Jake, I'm going to come to you first.
All right, the fight's finally going to happen. It's going to be Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. It's going to make millions, kid. And it's going to happen in Saudi Arabia. So, Jake, or Gabe, rather, what's your opinion on that?
I didn't know that was even happening.
Fair enough.
I don't care. I really don't care. I think Jake Paul has proven that he's better than even I gave him credit for. Beating Anderson, that impresses me. I don't know enough about is that Tyson Fury's son or his brother?
Brother.
I don't. Okay, see. I didn't know if he was his brother or son, but he does have. Does he have professional boxing matches?
Yes.
Oh my God. Dude, his opponent, and I haven't looked it up in a while. Dave, you might know. I think it's like he's fought like 20 guys, and I think they have a winning percentage of. I think like 100 guys have lost, and he's won 5. It's very handpicked.
Right,
like,
but
embarrassingly handpicked.
Yeah, but also look at the records of everybody that like Mike Tyson fought, and
yeah, but I'm talking some of his opponents are like 5-90.
Right, he's fighting journeymen just like every single boxer that ever started. And
yeah, but there's still levels to a tomato can. Like, I mean, you can, but when you got a guy that's lost 100 professional fights, and won 5 or whatever the number is, it's a little, I want to pick those a little bit better.
Well, fuck me in the beard, Jake. Not everyone can fight fucking buzzsaws like you have your entire career, and Gabe, but like literally, that's the boxer's journey, right? And the only difference between a Jake Paul and the boxer's journey with Jake Paul, and this is why I completely turned the corner on Jake Paul, because Jake Paul is very smart. So he's fighting and doing the boxer's journey where he's fighting beginners, relatively beginners, but beginners with names. Anderson Silva, everyone says, well, how do you beat Anderson Silva? Oh my God. Well, first off, Anderson Silva was in his 40s, and obviously Father Time is undefeated for very, very few that were able to beat Father Time. Hashtag Gabe is the GOAT. But anywho, so like, Father Time is undefeated, and obviously Anderson Silva lost a step. But Anderson Silva, his boxing record, look up his boxing record.
But has Anderson lost a step, or is he just not a boxer? Because to shift gears, and anybody can say this, the last time, I boxed for years, was pretty good at it, and then I did MMA for so long. Stylistically, everything changes. So unless you go back to, and Connor had the same problem with Floyd. He didn't know how to tie up. You don't know all those little, tricks and trades.
Anderson Silva beat Chavez. He beat Chavez, and Anderson Silva, he is a boxer. His first fight was
but and I'm such a Hoolers Jr., such a fan, but his son, even Dad said, he doesn't train. He's lazy. He doesn't train. And I'm not saying Anderson's bad at all. I'm just saying when somebody that's all they do is box, even though you're one of the most legendary MMA guys in the world, it's still tough to shift gears,
That's fair. But I think going back to my point is Jake Paul is doing it smart, where instant gratification, where he's fighting beginners with names. Like he's fighting a Ben Askren who is not going to challenge him in the striking department, but he has a name. Tyron Woodley, he only had knockouts once again because we were talking about it before. But Tyron Woodley looked like a world beater standing up because some people were afraid of a takedown. So he was able to beat Tyron Woodley, again, a beginner with a name. And besides the basketball player and the YouTuber or whoever else he beat. But Jake Paul, Daji, or I can't even pronounce his name.
His brother lost to
KSI.
KSI, yeah. But I think Jake Paul is doing the boxer's journey, fighting big names in order to get that instant gratification money that you only experience when you're a boxer throughout your career. Like at the after you go through the process. I just think Floyd Mayweather did the same thing. He fought cans. Mike Tyson fought cans at the beginning of his career. All the greats did it. Muhammad Ali, like after he won the Olympics in 1960 in Rome, he fought cans too to begin his career. Right? Jake Paul's just fighting names.
No, I wasn't taking anything away from Jake Paul. I got all the respect in the world for him because he's trained his ass off. I mean, he really does legitimately train hard. But it's an instant gratification as much as it is. They know how to build a marketing platform. So he built a marketing platform. Everybody cried and said, fight another tough guy, fight a better MMA guy. But he built that up. And he's actually trying to do good things for fighters. So I respect that as well. Good for him. But and look, so he went back to Tommy Fury again because he's like, hey, I was beating MMA guys. You want me to beat a boxer? Here it is. But I don't think Tommy Fury, I think he didn't show up to one of the press conferences again. I'm not sure that fight's going to happen. And you know who's in the waiting room for that fight is Mike Perry. Mike Perry's the alternate. That's a fun fight too.
Yeah.
Because they sparred. They were sparring partners for a while.
Jake Paul and Mike Perry.
Mike Perry, yeah, they got in once or twice and sparred. But Mike Perry's he's a Neanderthal, and he'll just sit there and slug it out. So he's fun.
He's entertaining, that's for sure. And he's willing to have his face broken to go forward. I'll give him that. Yeah. But I didn't know that was. That's how little I know about this. I didn't even know that he was is that confirmed? He's
confirmed. Yeah.
Backup? Okay.
It's in Abu Dhabi, I believe, right, Dave?
Yeah, it could be in Abu Dhabi, correct.
Oh, wow.
And hopefully it happens. But we are running out of time, so we're going to go to the fifth and final topic. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do fucking 5. Let's go!
Let's make a baby 5.
First that I'm
done. The retirement of one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, Fedor Emelianenko. Pride veteran, Pride champion. One of the, no matter for better or for worse, one of the best to ever do it. Gabe, what's your opinion?
100%. Anyone that tries to detract from that has got, some other aspirations. Fedor is one of the greatest. And look at the who he's beaten. He beat Tim Sylvia. He beat
Andre Arlovsky, Heath Herman, Mirko Krokop,
Big Nog.
Ricardo Arona in rings, he actually beat.
If you really look at his record, even with the 7 losses that he has, it does not detract from the fact that he's one of the greatest of all time, and you have to recognize it, especially at heavyweight.
Correct. And Jake, what do you feel about Fedor Emelianenko?
Man, if he's not the greatest, he's got to be in your top 3 with anybody. I know people say UFC is different, but his body of work, and I don't think he's a true heavyweight. He's an undersized heavyweight. He's overweight. He should probably have been in the UFC, if he was really shredded, probably a middleweight. Yep. He's not a huge guy, so what he's done is, he's done is unbelievable.
Yeah, you know what, and I know that Dana was like, he never fought in the UFC, and that's, you know what, there are multiple fighters that never fought in the UFC. That doesn't detract from what they were, and he fought in Pride when it was the largest show in the world surpassed the UFC by a considerable margin. And then he fought in Strikeforce and Bellator against guys that are UFC caliber, including multiple former UFC champions. So I personally don't think that holds any weight whatsoever. I mean, no, I get it. Look, if I owned an organization and there was someone that was exceptional that was not in my organization, I would 100% say, well, he never fought in my organization, so he can't be that good. But the reality is if you look at his work, you can't say that.
Well, they tried also because we were part of the team. We were part of the management team that was working with Finkelstein, his guys, trying to get him over. And the UFC was about to make him the highest paid fighter ever. And at that time, Gabe, I mean, the numbers were freaking massive. I mean, they were
2009.
Not as close to these numbers, but his team wanted so much ridiculous stuff. It just got out of hand. Like they wanted an entire floor of the Mandalay. I mean, just the request was like, come on, guys. It just got to be too much. So in all fairness to the UFC, man, they did everything they almost possibly could have.
Oh, I have no doubts. And I've heard from multiple sources that, that they tried to go above and beyond. But what I'm saying is that I don't think the fact that he never fought in the UFC doesn't take away from his greatness.
100%.
Absolutely. And I remember just being a kid having that rings tape, watching him go to war with Ricardo Arona, but he really landed on my radar when he went to Pride and he fought against Heath Herring. And Heath Herring at this point was coming off a fight for the Pride Heavyweight Championship, November 2001 at Championship Chaos. Heath Herring, that guy is a fucking animal. Beat Mark.
That's my boy.
Yeah, Heath Herring, the Texas Crazy Horse. And seeing Fedor demolish Heath Herring, he was like, holy shit. Like, that's when he really landed on my radar. And all the wars and all the memories he provided, and it doesn't matter if he lost to Fabricio Verdum and that kind of ended the aura that Fedor Emelianenko had. There are plenty of greats, and I have to disagree with Dana. There are plenty of greats that haven't fought in the UFC, like Shinya Inoki, I can name off the top of my head. There are plenty of people that haven't fought in the UFC.
But don't you think that Fedor was almost past his prime by the time he got? I mean, his real prime, and I think we saw his real prime in Pride, and once he started going to the Strikeforce, and it seemed like that was kind of the end of his. It seems like we didn't see the best Fedor.
Yeah, yes and no, but also what Dana was offering in 2009, he was offering. First off, Fedor, and I can understand why Dana White was so pissed off and such a burn spot on his heart, because Dana White, he tried. First off, Randy Couture left the UFC for quite a while because he wanted the UFC to sign Fedor Emelianenko. It didn't happen, so Randy Couture fucking bounced. He's like, I want to fight Fedor Emelianenko. That's the guy I want to fight. This is the matchup to make, and they weren't giving Randy Couture, who earned it, they weren't giving him that fight. And also, number two, in 2009, when they were trying to sign Fedor, they went to a small little fucking island and tried to negotiate. And like Jake said, they wanted the fucking everything handed to them. They wanted a co-promotion of their promotion in Russia. Dana White, just to stay face, was like, listen, I tried to make this deal happen. And he actually re-signed Tito Ortiz just to make an example that, yeah, look, I made up with Tito Ortiz and I signed him. See, like, you can make a deal. Fedor Emelianenko didn't want to make a deal. He signed Tito as kind of like that spite signing in 2009. I felt, Well,
in all fairness to Fedor, it wasn't his fault because most athletes don't know what the hell their management's doing.
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
So yeah. So to answer your question, I put Fedor as. I mean, him and Stipe. I think him, Stipe, and Kane. I mean, those are my three all time.
And Fedor's wars with Big Nog and Mirko Cro Cop, that fight was the fight of the century in Pride at heavyweight. Holy shit.
Oh,
I remember
the Kevin Randleman fight getting bounced off his head was.
You remember that?
That was, as far as I'm concerned, for me, the Randleman fight when he got dumped on his head and he's like a cyborg, immediately, like, that would have killed any normal man.
Man.
Like, didn't even phase him. It's not like he didn't even do a shake off. He's just like, oh, okay, now I have to kill you. It was like amazing.
Unbelievable.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Enjoy retirement, Sir Fedor Emelianenko. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, all my bros and hoes in different area. All my bros and hoes in different area codes with full lymph nodes and tiny chokes. We thank you so much for joining us from the Fight Mixer. Last words from the four-time world champ and the owner of Kazuya MMA and Fitness. Got a free class from the BJJ black belt and UFC vet. I mixed up my words. Mr. Gabe. Gabe, final words, sir.
Awesome. I hope we keep going. We'll have some good options and good guests this coming season. Back to it, and happy to spend the time with you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And the MMA pioneer, owner of Exclusive Vegas. Big things happening. Big things on the horizon. Jake Hatton, final words, good sir.
Man, I'm glad we're back so I can talk a little real fighting with my boys.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. And we just completed our 5 topics. Congratulations, fella. We have creative freedom this season, baby. So we can do whatever the fuck we want. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from the Fight Mixer, join us next week. We're going to have a guest on. We're going to have plenty of topics to talk about. We're going to have a lot of fun. We thank you very much for joining us once again. From myself, David Potter, 4-time world champion, Mr. Gabe, and Jake Hatton signing off from the Fight Mixer. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Having a hard time going back to the gym after working out at home? Well, now you don't have to with the X-Bar. The X-Bar from X-Bar Fitness is an incredible gym alternative that gives you the same intense workout you get at a full gym with hundreds of machines. One X-Bar alone provides the same workout as a cable machine, bench press, dumbbell set, free weights, leg press, barbell set, and all these other machines. Stop wasting time debating whether or not you should go to the gym. Order the X-Bar to get a quality workout in the comfort of your own home.